It's interesting that we're getting new DLC for an Assassin's Creed game, but it's not for its most recent release. Assassin's Creed Mirage DLC is bringing back manual. Yeah, I don't really care about that. That just kind of lets you know that, Ubisoft, especially with its current situation, is a much more occupied with what is profitable as opposed to what could be used to push a message, because in light of a new Assassin's Creed game dropping a couple of months back, haven't really heard too many sales updates. Got one or two different player count updates which don't end up amounting to anything, but if you really want to read between the lines on that one, the medium being the message of Tencent coming in and forming Vantage Studios, owning 25% of that, that kind of lets you know about how well Assassin's Creed Shadows ended up performing. Over $300 million spent and none of it ending up being recouped. Oopsie daisy. But the future of the Assassin's Creed franchise, I mean, if any of those leaks about, what is it called, Assassin's Creed Hex, where you're going to be a female assassin navigating the Salem witch trials, it's like, oh boy, some of that stuff looks awfully cringy. But we were apparently saved from something else equally politically partisan, thanks to Assassin's Creed Shadow, so I guess we need to give the last black samurai his flowers. Well, you better give it to him, otherwise he's just going to behead you in the streets. But anyways, Ubisoft canceled a post-American Civil War Assassin's Creed. Felt the story was too political in a country too unstable. Oh, so it was just going to be about slavery. I can see why it ended up getting canceled. Not a lot was lost. But yes, in the latest case of a snowflakeism torpedoing a genuinely interesting creative choice, a new report has revealed that while the next Assassin's Creed game was originally set to tell the tale of a freed slave who joins the Brotherhood in the years immediately following the American Civil War, Ubisoft ultimately scrapped these plans in order to avoid the headache of dealing with America's current obsession with intellectually dishonest pearl clutching. Yeah, so instead of getting 12 years in Assassin, Ubisoft and Tencent, they're kind of going back to the drawing board, huh? A word of the now cancelled Assassin's Creed entry was first brought to light courtesy of GameFile reporter Stephen Totillo. He's a total asshole, but, you know, he's got his sources, okay? Who had himself gleaned from the information from interviews with about 5 current and former Ubisoft employees who spoke to GameFile on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak about the project. According to these anonymous employees, the follow-up to Assassin's Creed Shadows, oh shit, so this was going to be a direct sequel, huh? Would have taken its furthest jump towards the present day and dropped players into America's Reconstruction era. Because, yeah, I think the most recent in the timeline of Assassin's Creed games, I'd really have to think about it, but I think probably Assassin's Creed 3 at the time of the Revolutionary War, that's probably the furthest along we've gotten, depending, okay, no, actually, that would be Black Flag is technically a prequel to 3. My mistake. I think Rogue might be, again, it's convoluted, but we're still sticking within like a couple of decades of that, within that little epoch of time. But yeah, moving into the mid 1800s. Okay, that could have been interesting. But yes, a period. It would have been, yes, during the Reconstruction era, a period of roughly 12 years immediately following the conclusion of the country's civil war, defined by its efforts to both rebuild a war-torn nation and enforce its new no-slaves status quo. Yeah, that the North would take an awful long time coming around to, but no, it's all of those hillbillies down south, and Lincoln was a great guy. Therein, players would have stepped into the shoes of the now freed black slave who, after moving west in search of a new life following years of forced labor in the South, is recruited by the Brotherhood to deal with a brewing plot within the former Confederate States. While Totillo's sources didn't provide any details regarding said plot, they did confirm that the game would have seen the protagonist dealing with the birth of the Klan. Oh, God, if this was, like, this is such a cool presence in a vacuum, but this is going to be modern-day AAA game development. It would have been so heavy-handed and awful. Okay, so, which was born into its pathetic existence in 1865. With all 5 noting that they were, per Totillo, enthusiastic about the game. Yeah, no, you don't want this game, okay? But they were also frustrated by its cancellation, which they perceived as Ubisoft bowing to controversy. 3 of these sources further explained that according to internal communications from Ubisoft Paris HQ, the American set Assassin's Creed was cancelled for 2 explicit reasons. The first being online backlash this spring to the reveal of Yasuke, a historically inspired black samurai, as a protagonist in the company's then upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows, and concern that the political climate in the United States was becoming increasingly tense. No, this could have been a game, okay? If you didn't do what you did with Shadows, you could have released this. It's a perfectly acceptable setting. It makes sense. It just probably would have been as woke and heavy-handed as you can anticipate it. But there is an interesting concept that's right there, and one that a lot of people can get around, okay? A lot of people watched that fucking Sinners movie earlier this year, and that sounds pretty close to being the same. Instead of vampires, you just end up having assassins and Templars. Could be interesting. But yeah, the United States is becoming increasingly tense. No, increasingly tired and increasingly filled with black fatigue. Maybe that's a little bit more appropriate. Too political in a country, too unstable to make it short, describes one source of the situation. Sadly, for all the criticism one could level at Ubisoft over their crappy business decisions, corporate greed, or the ever-dropping quality of their releases, including those related to Assassin's Creed series. Exactly, that's why they're going back to Mirage to try to, pump up that game and ostensibly abandoning Shadows. Nothing will change the fact that the apparent read of the U.S. climate right now is sadly spot on. Yes, well, there was once a large portion of center right-leaning audiences rejected the reactionary identity politics seen in the video games industry. More aggressively progressive developers in recent months, and especially those since Trump's second term inauguration in January, have seen many self-proclaimed free speech warriors gleefully indulging in victimhood opportunism. Yes, they once decried. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Oh, Christians are being persecuted. Oh, look at all this gooner bait that's out there. Oh man, there are way too many Bible thumpers. Just being the opposite side of that fucking, leftist coin, man. While Ubisoft absolutely and drastically dropped the ball in regards to respecting the game's historical Japanese settings, the self-inflicted errors included the instance that a poorly researched pop history profile of the historical Yasuke was the undisputed truth, unauthorized use of historical reenactment groups, yes, fictional unit banner, and more misunderstanding of the time period's customs and aesthetics. Yeah, we went over this ad nauseum at time of release, and yeah, if you want to talk about backlash to a certain aesthetic for your games, Ubisoft, just go ahead and take a look at what people were actually upset about. Just filter through the noise and realize what you need to do moving forward, because at any point in time, and I talked about this, especially in the lead up to Shadows, I was a big fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, okay? Everything up until Black Flag, I bought the collector's editions for, I bought the collector's edition strategy guides for, big fan of that franchise. All the DLC, all the crap that was out there, man. Like, I was an uber whale, especially during that point in time in gaming, because guess what? The games that were coming out, especially from AAA, were really goddamn good. But now you couldn't get me within a 10-foot pole, within a 10-foot reach. I wouldn't touch Assassin's Creed with a 10-foot pole. That was the term I was looking for, okay? Because, I played through a story where you killed Cesare Borgia, spoilers, in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I went through an alternate take of the Revolutionary War in Assassin's Creed 3. I scaled the city of Damascus, or Constantinople, whatever it was called, back during Assassin's Creed 1 twice over, because I think I lost my save file with the first game, and then I had to play through it again, which was definitely not a bad thing. I really like Assassin's Creed 1, so yeah. If you can tell a story and if you have engaging gameplay like that, I will come back. It's just, you're focused on all the wrong things at this point in time. And honestly, I have zero faith in AAA gaming to do anything nearly half as adventurous as Resident Evil 5. There's a reason why we're getting, oh my god, look at that, we got a female protagonist for for Resident Evil 9. Isn't it going to be great? It's definitely not going to be like that slop that gets passed off as, really revolutionary and groundbreaking from 7 and 8. People still talk about those games? Yeah, I don't really think so. So yeah, AAA gaming, it's all the potential in the world is there. It's just, is anybody going to capitalize and realize it? I don't think so. So with all that said, but before I go, I just want to make one more plea to you guys out there, or rather just to bring something to light here, okay? Because over the past couple of years, okay, I've been exclusively putting out health and fitness related content over there on Rumble. It has been doing fine, but all of that stuff really originated back, I think, in 2021. Upon my first anniversary of going full-time on YouTube, I decided to develop a secondary channel where I would discuss all of those little bite-sized topics based on some of my outside of the main channel topics, okay? Health and wellness, fitness, finances, all of that type of stuff in a little like 5 to 10-minute long videos. Nothing more than that. I'd put them out once a week. But yeah, in the light of recent developments and YouTube kind of stepping off the necks of people who decided to indulge in some of the more turbulent aspects of free speech, I filed an appeal and I got my channel back. So that's all well and good. And starting on Monday, I hope to be restarting this by putting out all of the videos that I have already ready to go over there on Rumble. So yeah, starting at 6 o'clock Monday, I will be putting out a brand new piece of content, and over the weekend, hopefully be updating some of the aesthetics on the main channel and this channel as well. Link will be in the description if that sounds like something that you're interested in. Like I said, just a little bit more bite-sized content and a lot more fun in that direction. So I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.